What's up, guys? My name is Spartan, and welcome back to my tower. This is episode 33 of my Tour My Tower video series. This is a video series where I go through the ins and outs of my tower, walk you guys through the different upgrades that we're doing, the different moves that we're making, etc. And we've got a pretty exciting episode today for you guys. Let's go ahead and just start with the stats page. All right, so within the stats page, last episode we were at very close to 50 quintillion lifetime coins. And I had kind of reached a pretty big bottleneck in terms of my coin income. So I started doing some reassessing, kind of trying to basically just see, is there anything that I'm missing? And ultimately just why my econ was not really progressing the way that I feel like it should. But for this episode, we are now at 78.9 quintillion big Q lifetime earned coins. Lifetime stones, we are at 132,000. And research is completed. We are now at 2.46K. So quite a bit has happened in terms of from last episode to now. It has been about 14 days as of the time that I'm recording this. And yeah, we have a lot to talk about. But first and foremost, I have done a few more milestone pushes on tier 21. But I did that without something else that we will talk about later on in this video. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in now to the workshop. But before we actually dive into the workshop, I want to say a huge shout out and thanks to MuMu App Player for partnering with me in making this video. I've been using MuMu App Player to play the tower and other mobile games now for the good part of about a year. And I have used at this point about 5 different Android emulator services. In terms of like physical hardware on your computer emulators, MuMu App Player has truly outperformed all of the rest. I've tried LD Player, I've tried BlueStacks, I've tried MSI Player, I've tried a whole bunch of these different things, right? And what I have found is that MuMu has ran the most reliably. It has the best customization settings that you can do, so you can actually tailor MuMu Player to your own specific device. And overall, it's just been really, really fantastic. So if you would like to check out MuMu Player to play the tower or any other mobile game, feel free to check the link in the video description. It is an affiliate link and it does directly support me in my content. Huge shout out to all of you guys for using MuMu Player. And yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and go back to the video. All right, so in terms of the actual workshop, this is kind of what we're looking at right now. I still have basically everything the same in my basic farming setup. I did drop the shockwave size down to 1.7. I feel like 1.75 was just a little bit too far out there, I guess, if that makes any sense. But we have since dropped that down. And again, I max out all of this stuff, the landmine stuff, basically during the run, so I'm not overly concerned with that. And then for the utility upgrades, this is a little bit different. I now have my enemy health level skips at level 600, and my enemy attack skips at 560. This is mostly just for the sake of maxing them as quickly as possible during the run. I don't think I necessarily need the enemy attack skips, but I figured why not? Just go ahead and get it in there. In terms of the workshop enhancements, this is what we're looking at here. I've been just gradually improving my damage per meter, critical factor, and super crit multiplier. I've been leaving my attack speed at 1.4 as I think that that's been more than fine for what I need. And moving on to the defensive enhancements, this again, kind of similar thing with the attack. I haven't really touched much here. Might put a little bit more into like health regen for the sake of when my wall does come back up, maybe getting some more wall fortification. But you guys have to remember, I'm basically running a more damage focused build, not as much concerned with enemies touching my tower. More so concerned with just killing them before they get the opportunity to touch my tower. And now moving on to the utility enhancements, this is where stuff is getting pretty crazy. So we have, as you know, basically been going really hard into coin bonus and cell bonus as well. I really want to continue to work on the cell bonus, but for now, like I mentioned, I've kind of hit a bottleneck with econ, so I've been putting pretty much all of my coins into the coin bonus. And now moving on to the ultimate weapons, I just wanted to briefly kind of show you guys what we got going on here, because a little bit has changed. Before we continue, I want to thank today's video sponsor, which is LDCloud. If you're serious about the tower idle tower defense, long farming sessions can really make or break your tower. And that's exactly why I try to farm 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The issue is 24/7 active gameplay can really take a toll on your mobile device and computer as well. That is where LDCloud comes in. LDCloud is a cloud phone service that allows you to run the game directly on your PC or mobile device without compromising your hardware or breaking the bank with your electricity bill. Both of my accounts are able to farm with ease whether I'm at home or on the go. Because the game runs in the cloud, you're not keeping your PC and phone powered on all day, which helps reduce the electricity usage and cuts down on wear and tear on your devices. I've tested other cloud phone solutions before, but LDCloud definitely stands out with its stability, multi-instance support, and accessibility, especially for idle and grind-heavy games such as The Tower. LDCloud offers flexible spending plans starting for as low as $9.99. And if you've been on the fence about trying out LDCloud, right now is actually the perfect time to go ahead and try it out. They currently have a lunar sales event going on right now. You can get 42% off a 60-day plan, you can get 44% off a 100-day plan, and the best value, you can get 47% off of an 180-day plan. It says you can start as low as $31.99. This, of course, only applies to the VIP, KVIP, and XVIP plans. If you want to try it out, use my link in the video description, and you can get a 6-hour trial for as little as 10 cents. It directly supports this channel and helps me improve my content. And with that, let's get back to the video. We hit the 1st of March and stone packs have reset, so we have basically done a few different things here. So first and foremost, the biggest thing I'm excited for is my death wave. So last video, I don't know if you guys remember, but I had 2 more clicks into death wave, so I had a 70-second cooldown. Now I have a 60-second cooldown. And with module effects, it brings me down to 40 seconds. Likewise, we had the 850 cost for the death wave quantity, and we went ahead and picked that up. And we have 1 more click. I don't know if I'm gonna really try to prioritize that for the meantime, but I did 1 more click into death wave quantity as well. That has basically allowed me to get permanent death wave for my farming setup. Like, that is super, super important. So I'm very happy with that. Likewise, we got another click into Chrono Loop. So instead of Chrono Loop 10, we now have Chrono Loop 11. So again, super, super excited about that as well. Moving on to my other ultimate weapons here, my Golden Tower. This one, I did put a click into the duration, and I also put a click into the GT bonus. That is pretty much it in terms of stone spending. I wanted to go ahead and get that done so that I could get a little bit closer to permanent Golden Tower, and kind of overall my plan for this month was sort of to do a pretty balanced approach. I could have theoretically done 2 clicks into Chrono Loop and got Chrono Loop 12, but I wanted to, like I said, just kind of prioritize a little bit more into Econ. So we got 1 click into Chrono Loop, and we basically put the rest into Econ stuff. So again, death wave quantity, 1 click, cooldowns, 1 click. And then for Golden Tower, I did 1 click into bonus and 1 click into duration. And we did just get our tournament rewards, so I think I'm actually going to do another click into the duration. There we go. So now, in terms of our ultimate weapon uptime for Golden Tower, my goal long-term is to get it where I don't need to have Galaxy Compressor. That's sort of my long-term goal. I want to get my Golden Tower to a point where it's basically permanent without Galaxy Compressor. That is going to be a huge, huge boost to my econ when I can finally start farming with Singularity Harness. We're not quite there, but the more that we continue on in this venture, the better things we'll get in terms of our econ. Some other goals of mine that I have is I want to get a few more clicks into the black hole duration so that, similar thing, I can get permanent black hole without Galaxy Compressor. Because right now, with the perk, it takes me up to 45 seconds. So basically I have 5 seconds of downtime with my black hole, which is not necessarily ideal. And likewise, spotlight angle, it would be good to get this up a little bit higher as well, maybe a couple more clicks. And then I think we'll get a little bit of a boost with that. But yeah. In terms of Ultimate Weapon Plus, the next one I'm kind of considering getting, there are a couple. I am considering getting Charge Mines. I feel like Charge Mines might be pretty good, especially for my tournaments. So that is a big consideration that I'm kind of looking into. And likewise, I was thinking about maybe getting the Poison Swamp Plus Death Creep. I feel like Death Creep would be a pretty big damage boost overall, but I'm not entirely certain. I don't know which one will do better given my current setup, I would assume Poison Swamp Plus because I don't have anything invested into my Inner Landmine damage, but the Inner Landmine Chrono Jump lab, that one seems to be pretty promising. So I don't know. I'm not fully decided on what I'm going to do, but that is going to be a little bit farther down the road because, like I mentioned, I still would like to probably finish my Chrono Loop and also continue to work on sort of econ producing stuff. That's basically going to cover it for the ultimate weapons. Let's dive into the cards. All right, guys, I'm going to keep it really, really short, sweet, and to the point here. Basically, nothing has changed at all with my cards. We still have 25 slots, and we don't have any new masteries, so we will move on. I guess the only thing that has changed, if you want to say it, but this is more of a lab consideration, is I did max out the cash card, the cash mastery. Yeah, we got that finished. Moving on to modules. Modules are going pretty good overall. Really have been prioritizing my, as you guys remember from last episode, the assist modules. I've really been prioritizing sort of just working on my core. I feel like early on when you first get the AS mods unlocked, I feel like the core category really is overall the best. So that's kind of where I've been putting most of my stones, most of my energy, and also some of my lab time. So you can see we have a 50% substat efficiency, which works out perfect with my farming dimension core and my primordial collapse. With the 50% substat efficiency, it allows me to get with a mythic death wave quantity, 1 extra death wave, and it allows me to get 7.5 spotlight angle, 6 seconds of GT cooldown, and 3.5 seconds of GT duration. Also, if you want to count it, the 6.5 seconds of death wave cooldown. So overall, that as well as my primary module, my dimension core, that is why my death wave has a 40-second cooldown. So ditching Multiverse Nexus, obviously this has been my bread and butter for the longest time, but it does feel very, very good to finally be farming with the dimension core. You don't want to jump the gun with this because I definitely did, and it was not lucrative at all whatsoever. I lost so many coins when I kind of tried to rush it, but we were patient, we were diligent, and here we are now, farming with the Dimension Core. In terms of my farming setup, this is still kind of the go-to that I've been working on. And in terms of assist mods, I think the next thing I'm probably going to consider is more than likely either going to be more substat efficiency for the generator so that I can get more coins per kill bonus, more ELS, more package chance, all of this stuff. Or probably more likely, I'm going to actually get the unique effect boost for the armor. At least the first category, that way I can start getting some more value from my anti-Q portal for farming. That's one thing I'm really kind of looking into. But 1,000 stones is pretty expensive. Now moving on to the labs, this is what we got going on. We got a couple quick levels we can rush here. I have a couple things that I'm very excited about, and I'll just show you guys here. We did finish the damage and crit factor labs. Both of these labs are totally completed, which is fantastic. We are on track to, hopefully in the next several months, actually max out pretty much everything in our attack upgrades research. We have completed everything in terms of our econ research. I'll just show you guys my golden bot here so you guys can see we did end up finishing the golden bot duration and the golden bot cooldown labs. Both of these are totally completed, which is fantastic. That is, yeah, this has been a huge contribution to my econ. Obviously, we still have some way to go there, but yes, my big goal right now is to definitely get damage per meter up as quickly as possible. But more importantly, I want to work on my Amplify bot labs, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But I feel like Amplify duration, Amplify cooldown, this is going to be super, super important for me. And that's going to cover it for the labs. Let's go ahead and dive into the tournaments. All right, so in terms of tournaments, we actually had a pretty big personal best. Not in terms of rank, because my bracket was pretty scuffed, but we have been averaging kind of around like 1,250 waves, plus or minus. Some tournaments we have good results, some we have not so good, but pretty much averaging around 1,250 waves. And this most recent tournament, we gained basically like 300 waves. I'm very excited about that. We might be on track to hopefully start securing some more rank 3, rank 4, and then eventually rank 2 and rank 1. And yeah, we'll get a little bit more into that in a little bit, but the point is things are definitely looking up in the tournament category. Moving on to the vault, I'll show you guys here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. We recently unlocked the bot presets with keys. So that single-handedly is going to contribute to a lot of success for us. And I've already experienced it with this most recent tournament, and I suspect that things will continue to sort of progress in a good manner. In terms of what I am planning on kind of doing next, I'm really thinking about starting to work on the ad gem stack. I don't know if we'll do that, or we may just honestly start pushing for these other card slots just to get them out of the way. And then honestly, just probably start working up towards the power tree, starting to unlock some of this stuff. And that's going to cover it for the vault and tournaments. Let's go ahead and dive into the events. Really, I just want to show you guys my bots. So this is what my golden bot looks like. I have like 3 or 4 more clicks into the duration, and then that will be totally completed. And yeah, I have 2 presets here, and they're both kind of for tournaments and milestone pushes, but I'll show you guys the first one here. This is basically just a fully done almost amplify bot. Basically the same sort of setup as my golden bot. Everything is maxed except for the duration. And yeah, I have over 50% uptime on the Amplify bot, which is super, super good. And then moving on to my preset 3, this one is similar. I have a decently balanced Amplify bot and then pretty much a fully maxed Flame bot. I wanted to test out the Flame bot and basically see with my build how effective it would be against countering overcharge. And it did counter the overcharge, but what I ended up finding out is the overcharge were not really the issue for me. It actually turned out to be like the fast enemies and the ranged enemies and the boss enemies. So I think the overall Flame bot did not do as well as the Amplify bot. I think this one was definitely the best overall. But I will show you guys both of these runs that I did. I did 3 total runs. So this run here was with the Flame bot preset, and then this run here was with the Amplify bot preset. This run here was also with the Flame bot preset, but I used Ohm Chip instead of Primordial Collapse. So I don't know. But one thing I did want to show you guys is in terms of our tier 18 farming, we are now consistently averaging over 100 quadrillion coins per hour. So you can see we hit a pretty big personal best here. In terms of total coins for the run, we did hit 503 quadrillion, which is half a big Q in one farming run. So at this point, I'm making basically around 2 Q per day, which is super, super good. Last but not least, let's go ahead and touch base on the guilds. So shout out to This Is Sparta. You guys are killing it, every single one of you. I'll show you guys my guardians here. So the main thing here is I've been still just kind of working on the scout chip, trying to maybe get it in a good spot. I don't know if it's actually really doing much for me, but I feel like my other bots are still in a really good spot overall. I'm able to max out pretty much everything with fetch, and obviously summon. You guys already know how it works. In terms of the store, we don't have a whole lot left to purchase. We need 1 more guardian, and then we'll start getting these things, the relics. And then last but not least, we'll finish off with basically the currencies. But that's actually going to cover it for the contents of this episode. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. And if you did, do me a favor, throw a like on the video and drop a comment down below and let me know how your tower's going. And if you stayed around all the way to the end, huge shout out to you. Thank you very much. That's basically going to be a wrap for this episode. If you do purchase anything for the tower, whether it be in the in-game app or the web store, please consider using my content creator code. My creator code is code 300. Using this code basically supports me directly without costing anything extra to you guys. So I would really appreciate it if you would consider using code 300. And with that, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. But thank you so much for watching. And like always, I will see you guys later.